I hope I remember how to do this thing, you know, been away for a little bit. But we're at the Franklin Park Conservatory today, and we're talking with Amanda Bettine, who's a horticulture designer. And Amanda, we're in the Orchid Forest. This is a beautiful place. What's going on here?
Well, it's a great exhibit, and this is the last weekend to see Orchid Forest. And so we've got about 3,000 orchids that have been on display in the past 3 months, and there's a lot of color and a lot of interest.
Okay, and when we come back, we're going to be talking more and more about some of these blooms. We're going to take a look around here. This is just part of the orchid forest, but we're going to talk about orchid care. We're going to talk about everything that has to deal with orchids. And as we go later on, we'll try to get another location to show you some of the beautiful things, because you could do this at home also. So we'll see you in a bit.
All right, and welcome home, Tom. It's nice to have you back.
State of Ohio.
And you picked a great location to come back to, Tom, the Franklin Park Conservatory this morning. But why are you there today?
Tell you, I was going to come back and do some trees in an arboretum, but the frost the other night, Marshall let it get too cold. The frost
It's always
really
Marshall's fault.
killed some of the new blooms that we had around there. So I decided to come to the conservatory and look at some beautiful, beautiful blooms, because we're getting a lot of questions from people that want to know how they can put a living green wall into their home. A lot of businesses are doing this now, and they have a living orchid wall here. I'd like to talk with Amanda Bettine about it. And Amanda, what is the living wall here, and how does that one actually work?
Well, what we have here is a structure that was built out of floor felt panels, and they're basically individual pockets that we've planted the orchids and some other tropical plants in. And we water from overhead, but if someone wanted to purchase one themselves from different companies, they have irrigation systems that you can put in them, so it can be no mess.
Okay, we get a lot of questions on orchids and growing orchids, and they're really very simple to grow, and people think they're really difficult, but they aren't.
Yeah, they're not too difficult. There's many different kinds of orchids, so they all require a little special care, but a Phalaenopsis orchid is a really simple one to grow.
And that's what we have right here.
This one's Dendrobium, but we do have quite a few Phalaenopsis here.
Okay, how would you take care of those?
It's a similar conditions. You'd probably want to water every 4 to 7 days, just so it drains through. Bright light, but not direct light, and keep the humidity up. That's a good thing too.
Okay, and for the teas, we were showing the blue orchid there, and I know I get a lot of questions about the blue orchid.
Yeah, the blue orchid's great because blue's that color we can't find in horticulture, and it's a new process where they actually inject a dye into the stem, and so it's actually a dyed orchid. It doesn't come naturally that way, and it's called Blue Mystique, so it's a fun novelty we have on display.
And how about the care of that?
Very simple. Phalaenopsis is the easiest, so once a week, and similar, bright light but not direct light.
Okay, and you know, you get the bright light, light in here with the filter in this greenhouse, and things really look beautiful as we move around here and take a look at some of the other plants and some of the other gardens. Your show is open till when and how? And
the orchid show closes after this weekend, so you've got today and tomorrow to come see it, and we're open 8:30 to 5.
People can actually come back and buy some of these?
They can. We have our retired orchid plant sale next Saturday, and it opens at 8:30.
And when we come back, we'll talk about that. But the tip for today has to deal with your ornamental grass out there. If you haven't cut it back yet, cut it back, because there's new grass coming up there, and cut it back to right to where the new growth is coming up, about 2 inches above ground. It's time to get out there and take care of that one. There's a lot of things happening, because when spring really breaks here, the growth pattern is going to happen and everything's going to happen, and we're still getting a lot of questions, and we're going to answer a lot of those questions in a couple of weeks when we do our call 4 line and our special hour garden special coming up on the 16th. And I want to talk to you guys more about that when we do come back, because I think we ought to give the viewers an opportunity to give us some ideas of some of the things they want to see during that. So we'll talk about that during the after the half hour.
All right, yeah, a couple weeks from now, we're going to do a full hour of gardening. And
well, I'll tell you, and I'm rested. I'm ready to go and run right into that garden special and a few other things. But first, I want to talk about some of the events coming up here at the Franklin Park Conservatory. Amanda, please up to date on what's happening with the Blooms and Butterflies.
Well, Blooms and Butterflies opened a couple weeks ago, and it runs through September, and so we've got butterflies being released at 1 and 3 p.m. every day, so come and see in the Pacific islands, all of our tropical butterflies.
Okay, and these plants here are going to go on sale. The orchids that are in the show are going to go on sale next week.
Yeah, we're really excited about our retired orchid plant sale. It's next Saturday, April 9th. Opens at 8:30. From 8:30 to 10, there's free admission just to get into the plant sale, and prices start as low as $4. It's really reasonable.
And that's really a good deal. People can come out here and get in the orchid business pretty fast and see your green wall and see some of the other things that are happening out here. It's free admission to get in. You have a break for members.
Well, it's free admission at the beginning, and then it's admission once the conservatory opens. But it's a great deal. The orchids are a good price, and what you see here is what will be on sale.
Okay, and this is a great place to come. When we come back, we're going to take a look, answer garden questions, but we're also going to take a look at what Amanda's done with the trains and orchids and a few other things. So we'll see you in a bit. Everyone loves trains.
Yes, they do, and we look forward to seeing that. Thanks, Tom. A plane is heavily...
Getting us ready for springtime and the orchid sale.
I tell you, this is a great place to be, the Modern Garden Railway, and we're talking with Amanda Patine, who really designed this area, and look at it, that's beautiful. Tell us about it.
It's a great piece. It's a piece the conservatory owns. It was so popular for our holiday exhibit. We brought it back out for orchids, and we want it to be a tradition in the winter season. And it's storybook themed, so we have the 3 little pigs and Rapunzel, and all of these buildings are made out of natural materials.
Okay, and are these orchids going on sale also?
These orchids are going on sale, so what you see is what's going to be around next weekend.
Okay, and you know, this reminds me of some of the color of where I just left, so at least it's better coming back to some of the clients, but in a few weeks, things will be good around here too. Our weather people will take care of it. We had some most often asked questions this week, and I tell you, I've got that first question, I think, every year since I've been doing this, which is a long time, and that has to deal with the forsythia not blooming for 3 or 4 years, and I always ask the question, when did you prune it? Because you pruned all the buds off if you pruned it like in December or February, because those buds develop on the old wood, and so that's why you don't have any blooms. You only have blooms down around the bottom. The second question is also on Facebook, guys, if somebody wants to check that out, and that has to deal with the hardiness of perennials that just been delivered. A lot of people have ordered perennial bulbs and other things, and they're asking the question about whether we should plant them or not. And really, I wouldn't plant anything right now because the ground temperatures are pretty cold, and you're going to have trouble working the ground. But you can check out the hardiness of perennials very easily by looking at the information regarding, if you tell us what it is, we can tell you whether it's very hardy or tender, and they have a different about 5 degrees. And I put a website on my Facebook that can give you can talk about the hardiness zone. The real hardy ones can be planted after April 1, and the mid-hardy ones, just in the average hardy, can be planted about April 15th to 20th. The tender ones shouldn't go in until the last freeze is over with. We don't have any frost, and that's about May 20th here. It's frost-free before that, but we get frost really, and I don't like planting tender until May 20th. You?
Right, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. You want to
Okay.
wait. You don't want to get that last frost.
You don't want to get that last frost, that kind of puts
Yeah.
the world onto everything.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Okay. We've enjoyed being here this morning talking about all the things that are happening, and remember, if people have some ideas, we still have about 1 or 2 segments left open on our garden special that's coming up of what we're going to do. Get any ideas? Let's put in there a viewer choice, guys, where people can submit the ideas to maybe through your Facebook, your website, or my website, or even go and take a look at some of the email addresses. Send us your ideas, and maybe we can feature your idea that something's really worked for you, or this saved a lot of money, or something else. A lot of kid projects out there and school projects, growing salad gardens and other things. So let us know your thoughts, and we'll try to incorporate them in. We're going to put it together this week. So have a good week. We'll
Hey,
see
Tom.
you next week.
Tom, I have an idea.
Yes.
How about how to help out a yard that has 3 dogs?
Oh.
How to get that yard looking good again?
Yay! And
That's
you want to
called
use your
AstroTurf.
yard as an example, I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom. We'll have everybody send a note to you at gardening@nbc4i.com.
That's good. That's great.
How about that?
Thanks,
Great.
Tom.
See ya.
And welcome
Have a
back
good
again.
one.
Today is a very special day for families of children with autism because it's World